Suprabhatam friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Me. This is Dr. Sridevi from Mangaluru, Karnataka, India. Today I am going to repot a very special plant called as Philodendron Melanochrysum. It is a native to Colombia and it has found its way into the Indian markets, and I have learnt that it's a very rare plant. So let's go about the repotting of Philodendron Melanochrysum. Philodendrons are a craze these days. So philodendrons basically are natural in habitat in America and West Indies, but now they have become the favorite house plants in India too. They are catching up. So these philodendrons basically are epiphytes, later on becoming hemiphytes. So epiphytes means they have a main root system in the ground, but they require the help of some support, and usually they grow. That support would be a tree. They would be putting out adventitious roots in the bark of the tree, and they would be growing up. So these are the adventitious roots. So this is the node where the leaf is attached. This is the node, and these are the adventitious roots. At each and every node we will find these adventitious roots. So they will climb on the support of a tree trunk. These adventitious roots, they will poke into the bark of the tree, and then they will grow. Once they reach top end of the tree, they will start flowering. Their inflorescence is a spadix, a special type of inflorescence. Then once the seeds are formed, because it is on the top of the tree, they sometimes germinate on the bark of the tree only. Then they will put out roots into the ground, long roots into the ground. The roots will be holding on to the bark everywhere, and then they reach the ground. So that is about the philodendrons. So this Melanochrysum is a rare plant, and this came to me in this cocoa peat, and this cocoa peat along with the plant, it was wrapped in a grow bag. So this usually is confused or mixed up with another plant called as Philodendron micans. It looks so very similar to Philodendron Melanochrysum. So in young stage, this plant and young Philodendron Melanochrysum, they look almost similar, but this plant has got a brownish shine to it. The undersurface is reddish in color, whereas Melanochrysum, it has got dark leaves and the undersurface is not maroon in color or reddish in color. Also, the leaf, it has got cordate base, heart shaped base. Otherwise the leaf, base will end here, but these are the extensions, these two. So it has got cordate base. This does not have that much cordate base, but all the more it is a little difficult to differentiate both of them. It requires expertise. So this also gives out, this is also a philodendron, so this also gives out adventitious roots from the nodes. Each and every node, it will give out adventitious roots. And these leaves, when they become mature, they lose this sheen and this brownish shine and they become more heart shaped. Whereas this Melanochrysum, the leaves become longish, and you see the tip, it is acutely acuminate. Here the leaves are very much acuminate. In micans, the leaves are too much drawn. This is not that much drawn. This is too much drawn. This is called as acuminate apex. So I am keeping both the plants side by side so that we can make out the difference. And the leaves in Melanochrysum, they are little bit thicker, whereas these are very soft, very soft. On observation, this becomes clear. These grow to large size, more than 1 foot in size. So this also requires support, and this will also grow on tree trunks. But the mature leaves are heart shaped, whereas the mature leaves of this, they are longish, cordate base, but they are more ovate to oblong with acuminate apex. So as I said, they are epiphytes, so we need a potting mix that will mimic the epiphytic conditions. So that's why I am using, this would be my potting mix. This is coconut chips, this is leca. I would be mixing a few leca balls in this, and a few I would keep around the base of the plant root. Then this is horticultural charcoal, this is pumice stone powder, this is vermicompost, and this is sphagnum moss. The philodendrons, they like humidity, so this will help in retaining the humidity. This actually is a ready-made orchid mix which I ordered, but I am not very happy with this. But I am using this because it has got this cocoa coir in it, so that will give body to this coconut chips. Otherwise this will be very chunky and the mix will fall apart. So just for binding sake, I am adding this. So all these are in equal proportions. I like to keep them in equal proportions. So I will be mixing all this. This is a little difficult to mix, but I will mix. I'll pour this vermicompost. So I'm mixing all this. This, it will be in pieces here and there in the potting mix. So even if it goes in like this, there is no harm. It will retain little bit moisture and give humidity. Now vermicompost I have added. Yes. So all this is mixed. I'll pick out a few leca from this and I will keep it under the root system. Yes. Now to this I will be adding a bit of Epsom salt. Epsom salt is also magnesium sulfate, around 15 grams. 15 grams. So that will help the plant to overcome the shock of repotting. We are repotting, so roots will be disturbed. So this will help, Epsom salt will help the plant to overcome the shock. Not only that, Epsom salt will also give a nice green color to the leaves. Now apart from this, I will be adding about a teaspoon of antifungal. This is Indophil fungicide. So I'm mixing everything. Actually, charcoal is there in this. This will absorb excessive water, and it will also absorb excessive water, and it will also be antifungal. It acts like an antifungal, but I want to be on safer side, so I added antifungal. Now this, I have put it in this pot. This is around 4 inches in size. Yes, so this is around 4 inches in size, if you can observe. Yes, so always while repotting we take one size bigger pot. So I would be repotting it in this pot, which is about 5 inches in diameter. One size more, that's it. If I take a very large pot, thinking that once and for all I'll repot and finish the job, the large pot will have large potting mix that will retain large amount of water, and that might cause root rot. Philodendrons are prone to root rot. They like constant moisture, but they don't like the roots to be wet, so they are prone to fungal infection and then root rot. So this pot is just one size bigger, which will just hold the roots and allow the roots to grow. After the plant grows well and it becomes root bound, I will repot it again in a bigger pot. So this is the pot. At the base I am putting this coconut chunks just to cover the holes. It has got very good drainage holes, so to cover the drainage holes I am putting that. Apart from that, this coconut chunk will also help in absorbing the excessive water. If we overwater, it will absorb that excessive water also. So now I am filling this pot with the mix. I have filled it halfway. Now I'll remove the plant from this pot. So I need another pot in which I will put all the coco peat. So I have removed that. This is the root system of this Melanochrysum. So roots are good. They are not dark brown, or if they are dark brown, that means the roots are not healthy. We need to snip them off, but these roots are healthy. So again, to be on safer side, I will be sprinkling a little bit of antifungal on the roots. The weather in my district, Mangalore, is very humid, and it rains a lot. So to prevent that, we need antifungal. I usually water also with antifungal. Every now and then I put antifungal into the potting mix of all the plants. Sometimes if I feel lazy to put the antifungal, I'll water the plants with antifungal. So now, yes, so this is the correct height of that potting mix. But before that, as I told you, I'll be keeping a few leca here at the base, because I don't want to take risk with the plant. Yes, So what will this leca do? It won't allow the water to stay under the roots. That is what is required. The water will not stay under the roots. If water stays in and around and under the roots, then there will be root rot. The roots will develop fungus. Water stays, then fungus will develop, and that will cause root rot. So that is not needed. So that is why, and the plant will die, isn't it? So I am going to keep like this. One layer of leca is there. I am going to keep like this and then fill the remaining potting mix. So this is how the plant is looking after being repotted. The ideal option would be to give it some support here and tie it. The ideal option would be a moss pole. So what will happen? These adventitious roots, they will cling on to the moss pole, they will get support, and the plant will grow better. But right now I have not given it a moss pole. I'll give it later. But I will give it support with a stacking plant stem or something, old plant stem which we have cut. With that I will give it a support. Now the watering conditions. It requires consistently moist soil because it grows on the tree trunks. It derives its moisture. So the roots constantly get food material from the bark. So it requires consistently moist soil, not wet soil, consistently wet soil or moist soil. So I would water it every 2-3 days, but each time I would be checking. I will poke my finger and then check how much moisture is there. It shouldn't go completely dry. They do not like to dry out. So it shouldn't go completely dry. So every 2-3 days they will require watering, or otherwise what can be done is one day completely water it till the water comes out from the base. After that, every 2-3 days check the potting mix and then water lightly, not full heavy watering, just light watering, just to soak the potting mix. That's it. Just wet the potting mix, not soak, wet the potting mix. So that is about the watering. Then the lighting requirements. It requires bright indirect light, or it can handle even the morning sun. Philodendrons can handle morning sun. Morning very soft sun rays it can tolerate. So I will keep it in a place where it gets morning sun. Then about the fertilizers, it can be I have already put vermicompost in it. So once that food material is used, this level of this potting mix will go down. So I will put vermicompost again. Apart from that, I would give it a foliar spray of magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. So Epsom salt gets absorbed from the leaves better, and that will give it a very nice green color. So the fertilizer needs NPK 1919 can be given. Nitrogen rich fertilizer should be given because this is mainly a foliage plant, and vermicompost as I already told, and then foliar spray of magnesium sulfate or Epsom salt. So that is about this Philodendron Melanochrysum. Usually, here the stipules, usually the philodendrons have a stipule. If you can see this papery sheath, this is stipules which have merged with the petiole. So yes, so that's about this plant, Philodendron Melanochrysum. So that was the repotting of Philodendron Melanochrysum. Thanks for joining. Take care.